It's been roughly 6 months since we've seen or heard any news regarding the Fallout TV show. However, very recently new images of set footage have been surfacing, and in today's video we're going to be covering everything you need to know. So without any further ado, let's dive right on in. Firstly, before we jump into everything, I want to say a big thank you to everyone for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate all the well wishes, so a big thank you to everyone, as yesterday we had an awesome day celebrating, and you'd be happy to know I made it past the first day of being 30, so apparently it's not all that bad. However, back in October 22, we got a ton of leaks of set footage of various props and set locations that will be featured in the upcoming Amazon Prime Fallout TV show. And to coincide with that, during the Fallout 25th anniversary, we got a tiny but tasteful glimpse into the world that Jonathan Nolan is creating, alongside the creative input of Todd Howard and Bethesda Studios. But since then, there hasn't really been anything. Quite frankly, there's been nothing but radio silence and speculations. And even though we've seen new information regarding new updates that are slated for summer of this year in Fallout 76, there's one thing fans are still waiting on, and that's the 2023 roadmap for Fallout 76, which could at this stage be one of the roadmaps that has taken the longest to release. And for some in the community, they feel that the Fallout TV show has a big part to play in that. But according to some sources, filming of the show wrapped up in April of this year, and according to other sources, some of the show is still yet to be finished and wrapped up well into this month. We'll discuss the roadmap and the plans for 76 very shortly, but with the reveal of new set footage coming out of the Fallout TV show, that theory that the show has wrapped up filming is starting to look very plausible. Yesterday, May 4th, images such as these surfaced, and of course with any amount of new information that comes out of any big upcoming release, fans of the show and in the community have started to get more excited. Now, we'll go through each of the new images individually and break them down, but taking a look at the first image, which as you can see shows one Vault Dweller offering a Nuka-Cola to another ghoulified Vault Dweller. Straight off the bat, you need to give credit where credit is due, and when it comes to the work and detail that has gone into the prosthetics and the makeup for this ghoul character, I mean bravo, the work is incredible. At a closer look, and of course once the likes of CGI and other visuals are implemented, this character quite frankly will look terrifying, and I honestly feel that's the feeling they're trying to capture here, because regardless of what entry of the Fallout franchise you played, your first interaction with a ghoul was meant to feel terrifying. But I have to say, I love the touch they've added here, such as having the ghoul smoking. It's kind of giving me a bit of a Dean Domino vibe. Moving on from that, we can clearly see in the background and hung up upon the wall behind two of these characters a flag representing Vault 33, which at this stage backs up the theory even more that part of the show will more than likely be set on the West Coast. As mentioned in my previous video, and according to the Fallout TV show IMDb, Vault 33 is located in San Diego on the west coast of America, and considering that the likes of San Francisco, Las Vegas, and even the area that makes up the Zion National Park are all in close proximity to where Vault 33 is meant to be located, it's looking more and more likely that factions such as the NCR, the Grey Khans, the Followers of the Apocalypse, and other West Coast factions will make an appearance. However, considering we haven't seen any photos or concrete evidence that features any of these factions, that theory is still up for speculation, but more than likely time will tell. And finally, the next little detail that stands out in a big way once you see it is the clear representation of the Pip-Boy that the Vault Dweller is wearing on his arm. As you can see, and from the design, we can see that the model of the Pip-Boy that they're wearing is that of the Pip-Boy 3000 Mark IV, which if you've sunk plenty of hours into the game, will know that this was the model of Pip-Boy used in Fallout 4. Now, obviously the colour of the Pip-Boy is slightly different here than what we're used to from Fallout 4, as the colour here reflects a more grey stainless steel colour, and when it comes to Fallout 4, it was more of a dark brown colour. But who knows, even though that the photo has just recently been released, this photo could have been taken at any time during filming, and might have been taken near the beginning of production, and when it comes to the final colour and the design of any prop, a lot can change during production and also post-production, so maybe that colour could change, but let me know below what you think of the design. Moving on from that, the next photo we caught a glimpse of was that of the computer, or by the looks of it, and to be a little bit more accurate, the terminal that you can see here. Now, at a first glance, and if you're very familiar with terminals in the Fallout universe, you can see that the design here is very different from what we're used to, as the terminals that we've seen throughout countless of the entries in the Fallout franchise were a little bit bigger in size, and the size of the screen would take up the majority of the console itself. However, as we can see here, the design is a little bit different. Firstly, the screen size and the dials to the right of the screen obviously set this design apart from its in-game counterparts, as even though some of the terminals found throughout the universe would feature two dials to the right of the screen on top of each other, this design shows both of the dials side by side, and their positioning taking up a large chunk of the monitor space to the right. Now, I know these kind of details are very minuscule compared to bigger details that we'll see once the show is released, but for any fan of the franchise, and once you take a glance at this design, you immediately notice a big difference. Not really something that's disappointing, but you can notice the differences. The next little detail that we can see, and once you look a little bit closer, is that of the rulers placed to the left of the terminal, which features the Vault-Tec logo. As you can see, each of the rulers have the Vault-Tec logo printed on them, so more than likely we can assume that the setting of this particular photo is more than likely set inside of Vault 33, or on the other hand could be set inside of a Vault-Tec office somewhere. But considering that the window frame behind the desk looks very like the design of a vault window, we can quickly theorize that this is more than likely Vault 33. The next photo we caught a glimpse of was that of what looks like the vault door entrance that we seen back when Amazon teased the Fallout TV show. As you can see, when you look closer and putting these two images side by side, this is more than likely the entrance that we seen back when this was actually teased. And as you can see by the yellow industrial catwalk, this is very similar to what we normally see at most entrances to the vault. So from this we can quickly confirm that this set photo is the same from what we seen back in October of last year. Other than that, there's nothing really else that stands out bar the green screen in the backdrop of the entrance, and considering most green screens are used for CGI visuals such as background environments or backgrounds added in during post-production, we can assume that the entrance to Vault 33 won't be subterranean, unlike a lot of vaults we've seen in the Fallout franchise. And from the photo we seen back in October of last year that shows the residents of Vault 33 at the entrance, we can see a bright background behind the figure at the door. So from this we can assume that Vault 33 will be a vault located above ground. And finally, the last photo that was revealed was that of what looks like a lot of props that will be used during the show. And to be honest, there's not really a lot to go on here, bar a couple of the props that we can see. At a closer look, we can see a cabinet that's holding a ton of what looks like vinyl records, and considering the majority of music that's featured in the Fallout franchise is music set during the 1940s and 1950s, we can quickly assume that the Fallout TV show will follow the same style. Now, unfortunately, we can't really make out any of the designs on the spines of each of the records, so we don't really know what artists will be featured. However, one thing's for sure, if I don't hear the lyrics of "I don't want to set the world on fire," I'll definitely be a little bit disappointed. But regardless of that, I'm sure the music featured in the show will be incredible. Now, on the other hand, I could be completely wrong here, and these records could be something else, but I really think by the shape and the design that they're more than likely vinyl records. Other than that, we can only really see what looks like a vault door entrance console, or could be a console used for something else inside of the vault, as we can see some pressure gauge dials on either side of the console, so not really a lot to go on with that. But other than that, we can see what looks like a wooden sign with the words government and a word partially blocked and covered by other props that says Reds, or could be the side of a wall found out in the wasteland. And considering the backdrop we seen during Jonathan Nolan's brief interview during the Fallout 25th anniversary video was that of a sort of desert terrain, we can assume that this is probably a prop from that. However, there's nothing really else to go on from this photo, but regardless of what details we can spot, each of the photos are exciting to see and really breathes more hype and anticipation into the build-up of the show's release. Moving on from that and going back to what I mentioned a little earlier about the 2023 roadmap for Fallout 76, quite frankly there hasn't been any new information or news coming out of Bethesda regarding the future of Fallout 76 in 2023. If you're unaware, the roadmap, and not to be confused by the community calendar, is a blueprint set out by the developers, which they share with the community at the beginning of each year, that gives the community a better understanding and overview on upcoming content during that particular year. This year is looking like the longest Bethesda have gone without providing a roadmap for the game, bar the release of the 2020 roadmap, which was released on May 14th of that year. So we still have about a week to go before 2023 could possibly be the year that the community has gone the longest without seeing any roadmap. And quite honestly, roadmaps are definitely an essential part to any online service lifecycle, as it gives the community something to look forward to and a reason to return to the game. And considering we've already had the release of Redfall, and as a community all focus is now on Starfield, Fallout 76, bar its once in a blue moon update slated for summer of this year, is starting to feel like it's becoming forgotten about in regards to major content releases. However, that's where some of the community have theorized that the Fallout TV show has something to do with that. Going back to what we mentioned earlier, that filming wrapped up in April of this year. Normally for most shows, post-production can take roughly up to 6 months to go through screening, final edits and general post-production, and considering it can take that long, that realistically puts the show's release around October or November of this year. And considering the yearly anniversary of the Fallout franchise is in October, that theory becomes very plausible. And for some people in the community, they feel that the lack of a 2023 roadmap ties into that, as they feel Bethesda is holding back on revealing any information on the roadmap that could potentially reveal or spoil any information regarding to the TV show itself. Now, some people, including myself, have speculated that the next iteration of expeditions in Fallout 76 will feature a location that the community has never been to before, and this statement was backed up last year by one of the developers who worked on Fallout 76. And some people feel that this location could have a direct link and tie directly into the premise of the Fallout TV show, and as a result is why the community still haven't seen any 2023 roadmap, and to be honest, I'm starting to agree with that theory. On the other hand, myself and others who believe this could be completely wrong, and maybe in the next week or two we could see the release of a new roadmap, but if you connect the dots in terms of the timelines, that theory starts to become very plausible. And before we wrap things up for today, I want to give a special mention to an incredible charity initiative we're supporting during the month of May. This month we're going to be working in association with Fallout for Hope in support of Wes Johnson's Alzheimer's Association charity campaign. The Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and also maximizing quality care and support. During this month, myself and many others will be actively campaigning and raising funds for this incredible charity. And we're calling on others who would like to take part and help raise funds by heading over and signing up at falloutforhope.com/join. Whether you stream, create content in other ways, your support will go a very long way. So if you'd like to take part, I'll leave a link in a pinned comment below. If you'd also like to donate and help our efforts, you can head over to my Tiltify donation link and donate as much as you'd like to. And again, a link will be made available below. My own personal goal and one I'd love to reach during our efforts is $1,000. But whatever we can reach as a community will be greatly appreciated and will go a very long way in helping the lives of others. And with that, that's everything from the new images revealed from the Fallout TV show. Let me know below in the comments what you thought about some of the photos and theories shared in today's video. And if you don't want to miss out and want to be kept up to date with everything Fallout related, consider clicking that subscribe button and turning on that bell notification button. And if you enjoyed today's video, consider dropping a like. And before we head on out, I want to say a big thank you to our channel members for your continued support and dedication to the channel. And of course to all of our subscribers who've helped the channel to grow. If you're also looking to pick up some Bethesda theme items over on the Bethesda store, you can use my creator code BTPineapple051 to receive 20% off of your purchases at checkout. And if you'd like to support the channel a little bit more personally, consider checking out my merch store, which has an array of t-shirts, mugs, prints, and other pineapple themed merch, which I'll leave in a link in the description of this video. And lastly, to you, the viewer, the person who stumbled upon this video, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, Vault Dwellers, stay safe out there in the wasteland, welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.